Welcome to our Educator Wellness session for the month of May. Today's session is going to be all about reflecting on the end of the school year. It's crazy to think that the end of the month of May is just around the corner. So we're going to be engaging in a few different exercises that will give us the chance to reflect on what this year has meant to us. We have a very special guest that we are so excited to introduce you to in a moment. So as you're making your way in, again, please share your name, where you are coming from today, and how you are feeling as a color. And it looks like we are building quite a rainbow with all of these different colors I'm seeing. Quite a range we have. Wonderful. If you're still typing, feel free to send that in through the chat. Otherwise, I did just want to introduce you to our agenda. In case there is anyone here that is unfamiliar with Move This World, we're going to kick it off with just an introduction of who we are and what we do. And then we'll dive into a couple of exercises that will allow us to creatively reflect on what we've learned this year, how we've grown, and what we are proud of. As a quick introduction, my name is Kendall, and I am the Director of Impact at Move This World. I've been with Move This World for the past 5 years, and my background is in social work. So in that time, I've been able to use my background to support schools that are implementing the program, as well as work behind the scenes with some of our program development. So I'm going to kick it over to Kelly Ridgway, who will introduce herself.
Hello, I am Kelly Ridgway. I am a program manager with Move This World, a former educator myself, taught for about 13 years, schools primarily in elementary, but was a big part in implementing SEL in the schools where I was located. So super passionate about SEL and everything that comes with it and helping educators across the country. And super excited to introduce you to Sarah Gaw, our special guest today. If you would take it away, Sarah.
Thank you, Kelly. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Gaw. I'm the Network Director of Student Support at Distinctive Schools. And so my role, I am just about to finish my 9th year at Distinctive Schools, kindergarten teacher, first grade teacher. I also have my master's in counseling. And so I have worked at DS to really meld both areas of expertise to really support teachers and students. And in my current role, I support our MTSS work. So really excited to be here and to share some of the practices that we've done here at DS.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sarah. And now we'd love to see who is in the room with us today. So we are going to launch a poll. Take a moment and share your role. We always have quite a mix of different roles here for these webinars. So we're curious to see who today is celebrating the end of the year with us. All right, so it looks like we have mostly teachers, but quite a mix. We also have counselors, school psychologists, social workers. Great. Awesome. And for folks that are unfamiliar with Move This World, we work with schools, districts, communities across the country to provide proactive, preventative mental health care supports. And we really do so by providing classrooms with a student-facing curriculum that is all delivered through bite-sized videos. Our videos provide classrooms with the opportunity to engage in experiential lessons and exercises that help students strengthen skills like their ability to identify their emotions, to work through stress, to build resilience, to set and work towards goals, to communicate with others, to work on problem solving, and so much more. And in addition to our Tier 1 curriculum that I just spoke about, we do also support schools in a variety of other ways. Today's really going to give you the chance to experience a taste of our educator wellness and professional development. So you'll notice that we'll be practicing what we call snackable or bite-sized strategies that you can take with you to use in a staff meeting, with a colleague, to do independently, to do with students. There's lots of different ways that these exercises can be used, but they, again, really give you a taste of what our educator wellness and professional development looks and feels like. And in addition to that, we do also support schools with Tier 2 intervention supports, as well as family courses for the broader family community so that parents and family members can log on and access and engage in our exercises as well, and Spanish translated content as well. And something that we are really excited about is in the 2024-2025 school year, we are also going to have some teletherapy options for Tier 2 and Tier 3 in select states. So more to come on that. So with that, we are going to transition and launch into our first exercise. So I invite everyone to think back on the start of the school year and everything that you have experienced and learned in these last several months. And we are going to reflect on that through a haiku. So if it's been a little while since you've done a haiku, or if this is the first time that you're writing a haiku, haikus have 3 lines. So it's a poem that starts with, the first line is going to have 5 syllables, the second line is going to have 7 syllables, and the last line will have 5 syllables. So again, it'll go 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables. I have an example that I put on the screen. You'll see, oh, balance, balance, head up to gain perspective, head down for focus. So we will take 2 minutes, and I'm going to invite everyone to write a haiku about something that you have learned this year. I'll play some music in the background, and then we'll have the opportunity to share what we created. So we'll take 2 minutes. All right, so time is up. So we are going to give everyone a moment to share their haikus in the chat. So if you feel comfortable doing so, please feel free to share that in the chat. But I'm also going to invite Kelly and Sarah, if you feel comfortable doing so. I'd love to hear the haikus that you wrote about this year.
Absolutely. I will share mine first. Be true to yourself. Everything will work out. Stay the course, strong one.
Beautiful.
That's really nice. Mine is curious minds soar. So many things feel daunting. Small growth whispers hope.
That is beautiful. And let's see from the audience. We have a lot in here. Okay. Where I need to grow and how to let go. Take a breath, release. Some things do not change. I am still learning which ones. Lessons I still try for. Oh, and I see yours, Sarah. Where I need to grow and how I need to let go. Take a breath, release. Slow, no progress it seems. Then before you realize, quick, wow, it's over. Love that one. School year has gone by. The kids on summer break. I really miss them. Start the day off right. Learn new things every day. Walk in peace and joy. Communication is the key. Listen as well as input. Reflect and release. So many beautiful poems. Thank you all so much for sharing. So I'm curious, Sarah, from your perspective. So we just did this exercise, pretty quickly. How could you use an exercise like this in practice?
That's a wonderful question. And I actually have done this with a group of educators. They work together because I had the gift of time, right? So to work on mine, you all came up with some beautiful poems in a matter of just 2 minutes. So kudos to you. But sometimes, it might feel like a risky activity because people are trying something new. And so it's exciting to have a thought partner, to bounce ideas off of, encourage you. And the staff quickly saw the value of doing this with their students as kind of a nice way to button up the year, reflect on things that they've learned and learned of each other, and to really celebrate a year that is really commendable.
That's great. I'd love to hear that this has actually been done in practice with a group. So I hope that for those that are attending today, that you too will take this back to your school communities. And I'm seeing, do we have another one? You all matter here. We'll learn so much together. Mistakes help us grow. Ah, beautiful. Well, thank you all for sharing those. We're going to transition into now our next exercise. So I'm going to kick it over to Kelly to walk us through this one.
Thank you. Those were fantastic. Our next exercise is frozen statue. A lot of different pieces to this that can be done a little differently. So we're going to start with, first of all, what is a frozen statue? A frozen statue is exactly like it sounds. There's no movement. It is incorporating an image that we sculpt with our bodies without movement, without gestures. So just like a snapshot, like a picture still frame. And so I'm going to give you this prompt of what is something you are proud of from this past year? I think it's very important to concentrate on moments of pride. And so thinking back in this last year, feel free to close your eyes or turn your gaze down toward the ground, whichever is most comfortable, and take a moment to think of something you are proud of from this last school year. And what did that feel like in your body? What would your body look like to show that moment of pride? What would your face look like to embody that moment? And come up with a frozen statue, whether you're standing or sitting, either way, of something that would show that point of pride. And feel free to go ahead and open your eyes or turn your gaze back up. And so we are going to show our frozen statue for our point of pride. And we invite you all, although a little awkward and we can't see you, unfortunately, but invite you to go ahead and embody your frozen statue at the same time. So I'm going to give us a count of 3, and we will show our frozen statue. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, thank you. You can shake that off. Excellent. Very good. Very good. So that is just helping us practice embodiment, which deepens our understanding. And so several different things that you can do along with this exercise, other layers, or practice this in multiple different ways. I am going to ask Kendall to show us her frozen statue, and we'll all take a moment to just observe her and kind of draw some conclusions from that. What are we observing from Kendall's statue? And then if you were in your own larger group, you could ask people to call out their observations. I will point out that she looks strong and level. Sarah, anything that you want to add to that you observe?
Balance, and her face, her facial expressions look happy and just proud.
Excellent. Oh, resting and observing we have in the chat. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. And please make sure in the chat that you to everyone so that we can all see kind of your observations. Accomplished. Yes. Very nice. Good observation. And Kendall, would you like to share a word or a phrase that kind of goes along with your frozen statue for your moment of pride?
Absolutely. So this statue represented me being above my stress. So a sort of
Fantastic.
steadiness, if you will.
That's fantastic. To give a few other little tidbits on different ways that you can incorporate this exercise. Oftentimes we'll do this exercise where one person is showing their frozen statue, and then the group will mirror that back. And that's a really strong thing to do in your group so that everybody can kind of embody and feel that moment of pride that that person is sharing with. So there's lots of different layers and different things that you can do, mirroring, also observing and just, seeing how that relates, how you relate to that and what you get from each other's statues. Seeing in the chat perseverance, that's an excellent observation. So this is an exercise with lots of participation, lots of different ways that you can incorporate the frozen statues. And so I'm curious, Sarah, what do you see as kind of the value in reflecting on points of pride, or what would be a good purpose for doing this in your group?
Well, I think as educators, sometimes we are a little too hard on ourselves. And so to take a moment to pause and really reflect on something that we are proud of. And when you think about something that you're proud of, oftentimes you're not thinking about something that came easy, right? It was something that you had to struggle with, something that you really had to show grit and drive, maybe tap on the resources of colleagues or friends or family to get you through. And of course, you learn things about yourselves. And I think that's the most important part. So that when we do come to another situation where those things are required of us, we already have built our little toolbox of things that we can pull on and lean on so that we can get ourselves through another difficult time. It's all about building your self-awareness and your self-management and knowing how to get yourself through some tough times.
Excellent. Absolutely. And I think also sometimes I know when I'm facilitating this with large schools and groups, I think oftentimes we don't, there's times where that word pride and proud has a little bit of a negative connotation to it. And so we kind of steer away from it. But I think it's really important to call those out and to shine in that for a moment. So absolutely. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing that. Very nice. When doing these exercises, one of the most important things is taking the time for that reflection at the end, whether it be the haiku exercise or the frozen statues, and just having a discussion around it, asking your group, what did they notice during this? How did it feel? What was surprising? What were some common themes? And so those reflection questions and taking the time to really dig into that is a big part of doing those exercises. With us here today, I'd like to kind of reflect on those pieces that we did, those exercises that you all were trying on, and ask you, what is something that you can take from this session? These are excellent exercises to do with staff members in staff meetings, but also with students and with children. So what's one thing that you're taking away from this session and these exercises and this experience? And if you'd be willing to share that in the chat, that would be fantastic. Let's see what we've got going here.
Oh,
positivity. Thank you. Important to make the time to model these practices. Yes, to support your faculty and staff. Absolutely.
And I love this point about just a few minutes, because that's really all it takes sometimes. If we can build in those regular opportunities to just take those few minutes and reflect, we can give ourselves the space to take care of
And the
ourselves.
exercises can be done so quickly to open or close a staff meeting or a PD time or just all of those different times when you've got those groups of people together can be done really, really quickly. feeling seen and heard. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Sharing thoughts and feelings in a community. Creativity, helping with the reflections. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Reflection being a calming exercise. Absolutely. In the frenzy of the end of the year, yes, of course. And that's what I love about these is so much of it is reflecting back, like thinking back about that time when it was hot, it was summer, you were walking into school at the beginning of the year and seeing new faces and being able to reflect on that now and what has all been accomplished throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. And especially in this time of, I'm just reading back this, especially in the frenzy of reaching the end of the year. I think so often we are in that mindset of just go, go, go. And we miss out on that opportunity to actually think back on what we've accomplished and to celebrate our wins. So giving space, just even independently, even if you're just doing this by yourself, to reflect on those wins could be huge.
And thinking about doing this with your students as well, giving them that time and that space to think back on, look how far we've come, and teaching them the power of the reflect as well.
Some other examples of questions that could be good to ask a group might be, what did you learn about yourself from doing this exercise? So if we think back to either of those exercises that we did, asking that question might also allow for some light bulbs to go off. What did you learn about the group from doing this exercise? How can you use this moving forward? Which is kind of like this question that we have here. What was challenging about the exercise? I mean, there's lots of different discussion points that can be brought up. All right. Well, with that, we are going to close this space with 3 intentional breaths. So I'm going to invite everyone to either close your eyes or cast your gaze towards the ground, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And we will take this first breath for all that we have learned this school year and all of the ways we have grown. So let's take a deep breath in and out. And we'll take this second breath for all that we have accomplished this school year, all of the things that we feel proud of. Take a deep breath in and out. And this third and final breath will be for what lies ahead and all of the opportunities down the road. Take a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and look back up. Well, thank you all. So we will hang out for a couple more minutes in case anyone has any questions, but thank you again to our special guest, Sarah. Thank you for sharing all of your knowledge and expertise and just engaging in this practice. And thanks to everyone that participated today and shared your wonderful poems and reflections in the chat.
And like Kendall said, we can hang here for a moment. If anybody has any questions about any of the exercises or our session or anything like that, please feel free to throw those in the chat and we can address those.
So many nice notes in here.
Thank you for the kind comments. Yes.
I know. I want to say thank you for your thank yous.
And thank you for being here. We know this is a wild time of year, so busy, so hectic. Everything's kind of starting to wind down. And so we know that it takes a lot for you to take a few minutes away and do this work. So thank you for being here so much. All right. I don't see any questions. So I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for being here today. Again, we wish you the best of the end of the school year and a wonderful and relaxing and restful summer. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.